Hey guys, how's it going? Alright, so I put all my shit in the stash and I'm good to go, I think. One thing I want to check for though is
How may I serve you?
an amulet. Stone of the Dark Sea. Oh fuck, I hope I didn't get rid of it. Or it wasn't on my multiplayer character because it did take me a long time to find it, but honestly I think it would allow me to use this build and be a little bit more effective because right now I don't even remember putting this on. I could have swore I had this on. Well, anyway, I guess I'll do some crypt action now. Did a little bit of Ocular Mire, but ultimately that's not really a shield I'm probably gonna rest with. It's likely gonna be the Joker shield instead. Yeah, it's probably just better to start a new game, honestly. There's too many bosses at the start there.
This is a place. I cannot get there from here.
God damn it. Just totally didn't care about my golem. Why the hell? Oh, they're just hitting my golem. Man, it's like I just fucking attract the whole level of hiddens, jeez. Alright. Okay, storm plate. Let's see what we got. Well, the plus percentage AC, I think, goes up to plus 50%, so it's not terrible. The DFE can go to plus 5, so this one's pretty bad. I have a plus 50% one, so I don't really need to pick it up. Okay, so the death minions, I gotta go far over this way.
Not enough mana.
Ugh. Crazy that one guy can stun lock you so fucking hard. Ugh, what a terrible fucking combo. It's such a hassle. Alright, we got a game save. ain't too bad now. I think I got the hiddens, which is the main thing. And I think they're glitched over here, so if I can just get the boss kill, then I should be golden.
Not enough mana.
I don't want to hit the snakes, and I don't really think I'm aiming at them, but Elemental has a mind of its own. If I can hit them flat, I think it'll go a lot faster, but usually it's just easier to deal with them off screen. I really don't want to get the snake boss involved. Come on, hurry up. Oh my god, fuck off. Oh, it was a shield. It was a shield. Okay, let's just like... Auto charges. I want to just spam Stone Curse and just fucking leap forward, but that's a bad idea. And it's just... I can see it now, I'm gonna fuck it up. Kite shield, alright. And that was a ring. Okay. I don't think there's any other enemies on this level, so I can load her up and hopefully get on to level 24 from here.
I cannot get there from here. I cannot get there from here.
Oh, fuck me. Well, if that is the case... I don't know if that's the boss. They didn't die in one hit, so I'm guessing yes. Oh, it is the boss, yeah. Nice, we got the ranged out of the way. Ballers are a bit more of an issue. I really don't want to chance using flash here. I might just go into the corner. Fuck. More like, fuck's sakes. Had a really good thing going here, and then the boss just happened to be resistant to fire. God damn it. Well, that's almost GG. I don't think I can outdo that. Hopefully the Ballers are kind of stuck in their own little world there. Okay, this guy I guess just takes physical, so I'll slowly whittle away at these guys. Oh, but you know what's tempting? You have to do it. Here's a bit more risky, but if I accidentally go over the wall, it'd be nice to have them dead. That golem's taking him a sweet fucking time. Okay, don't really need to kill him, that's good. Since that boss takes fire damage, I'll try to just pull him, but I don't think it's gonna work. With 33 spell levels, you really start to notice the damage increase here. Oh, my helm, fuck off. How much durability did I go down? 46 actually isn't that bad. Well, that's good though. I get to go back, repair, not lose too much on my helm. I mean, largely unnecessary play. There's really no reason to hop over the wall there, except for like, I don't know, ambition and adventure. Actually, it's been a couple times my helm's been breaking. The only reason I don't really like pumping it up with blacksmith oils is that it's so cheap to repair that it honestly seems kind of ridiculous to do it when I have like you know, 4,000 repair cost on my chess piece alone. Could have swore I had lightning nova on there. Oh my god, wow. Alright. Hopefully we can deal with the other ones until they're all pretty much fixated on him.
I cannot cast that yet.
I thought I pulled that boss, but I guess it was just the golem distance. God damn it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool to exploit AI.
Not enough mana.
There we go. Yeah, level 33 seems to be the sweet point for Flash. Once you do get around there, and definitely if you get higher, you can just take a whole magic resistant like mob and just wipe them all out. You gotta spam potions, but it does speed things up quite a bit. Level 24 I think has like an increase in the amount of bosses that it can possess, so I'm not sure if there's gonna be another Valor boss. I kinda hope so, it's got the right Q level at least. Valors are tricky, you have to like not ever click where they are, you have to click like just closer. But my aim is pretty shit. Like my dex in real life is not very good, so you just kind of have to guess. But honestly, if you just guess, like if you just kind of haphazardly put it, like as long as you just don't go over them, you're still gonna land more shots than you would. That's why I don't really like dealing with Balors and playing Mage in like the mid game, because early mid game you really need mana, and like you just waste so much mana like trying to connect a hit with like a Balor. It's like, what the fuck am I doing? It's like a waste of time. And it just like you have to line it up or make a lightning wall so that they'll actually walk in your direction. But like Balors, they don't take fire or lightning damage, so you have to really just either go in for the flash if you have the damage, and if not, just kind of haphazardly go at it. Good, we got another Valor boss. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna have to pull it without all the other garbage there. think we got the ranged enemy, so I can just have at her here. Ah, there's a hidden shit. Yeah. I gotta get rid of the other annoying mobs before I can deal with those guys. Okay, I think we got him. I don't think there's any other guys here. Oh, there is. Well, that's cool. Alright, so we want to lock up the boss and get the outliers here. I gotta find that hidden though. Alright. Damn, we couldn't get him. Couldn't get him with that shot. Alright. Hidden is down. Hidden is down. Looks like I'm not quite strong enough to do a one-hit kill on them. Fuck. Okay. That might be the last one. I guess I'll zip around and just see if there's any more bosses. That guy just dodged a fire nova. You really gotta give him props for that. Alright, it looks like there are no more bosses. That's good. Here we go. Oh, you can actually glitch him on the doorway? That's sick. I avoided this thing all the time because I thought it was set up so that you could not get the edge advantage on him, but it looks like it just has an entranceway of like 1 square. Maybe 2. Why, what you doing?
No.
So much room. I love emptying my stash. So, a holy amulet of the sky. I'll keep it because I'm not sure if I have anything like it, but uh, usually I would say 15 is what I'd aim for, 14 or 15. Zodiac, obviously, can't get that. Alright, do a new game. Do a quick level 1 run.
The smell of death surrounds me. The sanctity of this place cannot be fouled.
Maybe the extra spell levels will help me here. I honestly I don't remember when I changed the build, so hopefully, but I don't really remember. Oh shit.
The spirits of the dead are now avenged.
All right.
Cast that
All right. Load the game. Head over to the crypt.
This is a place of great power.
What are those death minions? Oh, nice. I can try and find them on this level. Alright, there's the stairs. Okay, there's the boss. I kind of forgot there's well, there's a block here. Okay, there are hiddens. First things first. Actually, I'm kind of curious if I can just straight up block everything from coming in here with this. I never did get to use the doors, so. Okay, so we attracted the whole level, but that's alright. We just want to pretty much kill this boss. See what goodies he has. Oh, are they magic? They might be magic. Oh yeah, they're magic. Nice, elixir. I like the sprite on this boss. It's got a really bright blue scythe. Well, there's talk on the forum about Blizzard and copyright and all that stuff. I guess a member was thinking of making a combination of all the Diablo games together and to basically just sum them up on a path. One linear game, you pretty much move, kill Diablo, move to like the rogue encampment. You know the story basically. And that was his idea. Is this a mace? No, it's a staff. Okay. For staff, that is shit. And, basically the whole roundabout way of saying, like, well, what about this game? And that whole deal. And it's pretty much what everyone knows. I don't think you're ever going to have a game developer pretty much say, hey, that's okay if you mod. Like, I mean, realistically, yeah, like, it is probably fine. But they can't give people the go-ahead, or there'll be a lot of people, like, taking them to court. Because the last thing they want is for some extremely popular modder to basically, take a large chunk of profits by taking the base of a game and developing it. But, realistically, from what I've seen, it's just like, what? Even if Mordor hits a goal of like $1,000 a month, which I mean is asinine in my opinion, it just doesn't seem like there's the player base to support it. I think, they still probably wouldn't care. And another big thing you gotta think about too is like, they'll probably give a warning notice. So they'll, and some people may see that as a scare tactic. Other people may see it as like, a serious like warning just because it's, the company doesn't want to go through litigation. It's a huge process. It costs a lot of money. Even though Blizzard is Blizzard and is fucking rich, it's like, it is a lot of money. So just why go through it all when you can just send a simple like, hey, don't do this and that's that. So that's what I think would happen. Blizzard caught wind of it, and this was just like the most insanely popular game ever. I think, oh, fuck. Yeah, I think I pulled too many mobs, fuck. I think they just ask Mortar, okay, like stop, and at that point, you just have to cut your losses. Everyone here would argue that it's definitely more than a mod, like you pretty much put an entire game into this game on top of Diablo. But, you could also argue the other way, like, you can't out-lawyer a company that's that rich. Like, they can just flip you around in litigation for, like, 10 years. Fuck. Fuck. So they could just, like, keep, even if they couldn't prove their case, they could just have lawyers basically talk you in a circle and run up your own legal fees. And like for 10 years, and I've heard horror stories of that happening. They know that a family can't afford it, can't afford to keep going through 10 years of legal costs, and the company tries to do that to them. And it sucks, but on the other hand, it's like, well, getting arrested sucks too. So I think it's like I really don't think Blizzard cares too much about like $500 here or there. I think if he was really worried he could just do something like on the description of what he's doing on Patreon, he could just put a little blurb that says like, I'm going to be modding all games. My modding is a passion, and basically you just have to like accept that whatever I make my mod on, that's where your money's going. But down low he could just be like, guys, you know what's up, like I'm pretty much making only the Hell mod exclusively. So just so he's not like, exclusively saying, hey, I'm doing this. It's like then when they take him to court, it's like, oh, okay, well, he wasn't profiting like primarily off that. People were just like, saying, I want to support this guy and the work that he does. Like all work that he does, not just Diablo the Hell. That would be my guess if you really wanted to get around to it. But it really, like, I haven't heard anything of like, Mordor getting a warning or anything like that. So I don't think it'll happen in our lifetime or matter. But never know. If it is something that worries people and Mordor or whatever, that's what I would do. Um, Now, naturally, when you have someone who doesn't really know anything about it, and they read right on the Patreon site, I'm going to be modding all games, it's like, well, I want you to mod the Hell. I don't want you to mod, like, Hellfire, all these other games, right? Like, I just want you to, like, mod everything. I mean, I don't want you to mod everything. So it's like, for new players to become patrons, it's like, it does kind of, like, cut that. But maybe once you have an established base, then you can change it. So if they do catch wind of it, it's like, oh, well, it doesn't say here that he's primarily doing Diablo the Hell. Maybe he could have like a scapegoat, because I know that Mordor does Baldur's Gate and stuff like that. It just kind of, he could use some videos from that and say like, okay, I'm uploading this, even if they are dated and he's not really working on them. These are just like ideas of me talking out loud. Okay, does this guy take any elements? Okay, I think he takes the lightning. Yeah, that'll take a while. Here I like to warp on him just so he can't get into his invulnerability phase, or not his invulnerability, his regeneration phase. And he's always going to run away from you because he's low X health, so. Alright, there we go. No scope. Oh shit. Well, I guess magic damages one of them. The boss, likely. As for other things on the forums, it seems like it's somewhat slow right now. Usually after someone is looking for an item and that kind of sparks a conversation out of nowhere. Like queue level system is, it's been explained a lot, but I can also see why it stumps a lot of people. It's a weird, like, multifaceted kind of issue. Well, not issue, but more of like just one of those problems you gotta figure out, but it takes 2 steps of information. Like queue levels and like the unique level. Really glad that Discord allows pinning messages, because thanks to Poseidon, it honestly saved me like probably 2 hours already, just like right now. And like I've explained it probably like 3 or 4 times before this, so yeah, honestly that's great. Even just copy pasting that message is good. And once in a while, you know, someone who's like not somewhat new, but like understands it and is like, you know, pumped that they got it and they understand how they can find items now, they'll usually pay it forward like one time and just kind of expand on like the overview that I gave. You do sort of see the trickle off though, where people like will explain it once, and the second time they'll explain it but more briefly, and like the third time they just like quote, there's like, look at this description or look on the forum, which I can see probably is a reason why there's a lot of aggravation from Mordor, who has to explain the same like 4 concepts probably like 100 times. One of those being transferring character files between the Hell 1 and the Hell 2. You know it's bad when the solution is to just make them not compatible for the sake of people asking questions. Yep. As for development on this game after patch 1.225, it looks like he's kind of going back and refining the visuals, at least with quests. Like there was one for Andariel, there's one he found for like the Frozen River quest, and there's a really good one for the Chamber of Bone. I really like that one. Even though there's not any Skull Angels in the Chamber of Bone quest level, I do think it's pretty nice looking. As for what I'd like to see from this stage of development, it's really hard, because like the things that I like to see don't really coincide with like what everyone else was or likes to see. So like, you know, one of those things is most players play the Scout. So it's like I realize they play the Scout, and like likely the class that should be updated first is the one that is not balanced, you know, so people like playing other classes, not just because, you know, Scout is broken or something. And then probably the Scout, because, well, most people like to play it, so it's like you might as well expand on some items or something that maybe let you play it a slightly different way, or I'm not really sure, but and the good thing about people liking particular classes is usually it gives I guess gives enough attention to where Mordor will actually, like, you know, look at a lot of the gameplay mechanics like Fury and just keep redoing it, which is good for people who like new content. You know, it's always something new to try out and just get used to. Naturally, some things don't turn out, but he's fairly receptive to the community. Like there's some things like the bow speed and the axe speed, all those things people didn't really like, and he listened to them. Other things though, they're not really negotiable. I guess you could say like the experience bar. It's like, you know, the idea of the mod is have like a really long, wholesome experience with your character, building it up. So, you know, that means being balanced at most stages. And, you know, right now I think it took us probably like 3 weeks to get his level 43 gladiator to level 44. And that was in multiplayer. Pretty good gear. I'd say pretty good gear. And with me, obviously, I get to heal him, so we kind of power through stuff a little bit quicker than maybe you would if you had just found normal gear. But that's also doing the catch-up level, so we still have to level his character up before we can get a true idea of like how hard it is after that. All right. But if I had to ignore and say like, what do I like to see in the mod, despite what everyone else likes playing, and you know what is currently a hot issue, I'd say it's just balance changes like for items. You modify a couple things, you make some more items that like clearly see no play. Like I would say like Grasp of Oblivion, like that ring is really just Oblivion, it's just garbage. Like no one fucking uses it. You just kind of delve down and you're like, okay, well why do people not use it? And you know, the 2 stat or 2 affix balance, that was a huge one. It took a lot of work, no doubt, but like honestly, I think that's a huge step in the right direction. You know, obviously people aren't going to value, say, 100% mana regeneration to like 35 DFE ever, but at least now some of the more niche stats. So like some people say they can't live without fastest hit recovery. Me, I've never really played with it. I think I tried it for like 30 seconds when I found the Joker set, and I was like, I'm gonna try it out. And I died to like one horror on level 5. So, oh no, actually I tried fast est hit recovery, and that was actually pretty good. The only thing that I found is it was really hard to use fast est with reasonable DFE. So without reasonable DFE, everything was stunning you. But yeah, you could definitely just get out of it faster. But if like 3 enemies were hitting you in a row and every single time it counted as a stun, well, it didn't really matter that you had fastest hit recovery, because you just get peppered so many times and it's like continuous cycle still. But for 1v1 situations, it was really helpful. Like I did notice fastest hit recovery was a big deal. So, you know, maybe people are like, you know, I don't care about improvision, but I want fastest hit recovery. So they can like actually use another item that has that in it. And now I definitely noticed, at least for Mage, players say like, well, at least before they were like, okay, you can only play Mage like Mordor's way. That's basically how it is. That was their opinions, because you know, the Joker set was just so much better than everything else, and the only other type of gameplay that you could really make work was just going like outrageous damage. Man, holy stun lock. So yeah, like I've seen some people before, they would run like 0 resist level 47 spell levels, but it actually had like reasonable mana. And then there was like a couple people who would run like just crazy high spell levels, but like they only have like 150 mana. So not a lot of people. I've tried it, that was pretty dumb. But now that, you know, like with Ocular Mire and Tyr's Blessing balance, it's like it's a whole new wave of mage players who actually, you know, first off like the class, because let's not forget that fucking everyone was just like, this is a shitty class, like I can't play this anymore, Nova nerf, la-di-da. Now it's like, oh, he can still do damage, he can still, it is an actual build. So honestly, I think that's what it is, just more ways to play at a reasonable level. Like, I mean, there's kind of an expectation, like melee mage, no one ever says, no, you can't play melee mage, but, having gone into it, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to clear Doom, like, in the crypt with it. It's not going to happen, or it's going to be super fucking hard, or like melee scout, like, it's not really happening. But yeah, when you have a lot of different, like, unique ways to play your class, even if you're not someone who does like playing that way, like me, I don't like playing glass cannon, shipfest builds, but at least it's an option, and like, maybe one afternoon I try it for like a couple hours. So that's why I like the item balance going on, and that's what I kind of hope keeps going on forward from here, but well, it takes a lot of work. Every single item, first you have to find it, which there's only a finite amount of like pictures Mordor can find, because, only so many fit the theme of the mod and all that stuff. So then it takes, about 2 hours on average. Let's just be conservative. And then you got to think of like an actual idea that's different, not done, and, maybe played. But it also, Mordor doesn't want this to turn into Diablo 2 or something where there's like a billion uniques and they're all just fucking dope and there's no reason to find blue items, because, there are definitely reasons to find blue items. Sturdy Plate of Defiance is like arguably the best like melee item. Like, despite the class, only I think Mage and like Scout. Then it could be argued otherwise, but most people agree Sturdy Defiance is like staple, like the thing to go for. If you have like, I don't want to say no life, but you have like either crazy RNG, or this is a game that you play like every single night with your buddies or something, And then there's Zodiac too, which, well, when you look down on it, it's like, yeah, plus to a couple more stats than a Ring of Stars isn't really a big deal. It's it's when you can wear another item that you wouldn't be able to wear without another stat like that. So maybe you need plus like 16 to all attributes for this thing to work. So it's like, all right, well, 16 to attributes. That's either 1 stars blue item, or it's 1 zodiac. So it's like, well, unless you can find a unique that has the exact amount that you're looking for, then yeah, Zodiac just saved you another affix that you get to use, which is huge. But I'm guessing the balance is to not have that be the reality. So that, there aren't those crazy overlaps to where it's like, okay, if I just had a Zodiac ring, I could wear this, and I wouldn't have to wear like 2 items with plus to all stats. But naturally, there's going to be some overlap like that. With 800 or 900 unique items, it's bound to happen. That was a really quick mob. Nice. But yeah, when you look at it alone, it's like, yeah, stats aren't really crazy. Like, an extra like 4 dexterity is like what, maybe one more AC, 4% chance to hit. Like, it's not the be all end all. Oh shit. Man, it just agitates me that that one fucking guy doesn't give a fuck. Just keeps fucking firing at me. Oh, so I need to find the one that's not a minion and just clean his clock. Oh, there he is. Fuck that guy. Oh, there's another one over there. Okay. Okay. There should be a manageable crowd now. As long as I don't do anything retarded. Oh, there's another one hiding in there. Okay. I'm gonna play it a little bit more safe here and not warp in, I don't think. Just, I got kind of lucky to take out those non-minion monsters. I don't want to have to repeat that. A very aggravating boss. But if I did have to suggest some unique items, I'd say when you're looking down at certain items like this, like first off, this item is uh, like it's got all the best things about a ring, which is the plus stats, and then like all the worst things of a ring as their negative, which is like the DFE. So like obviously DFE on a ring is like a fourth of what you would find on a chess piece. So if your negative stat is, +8 DFE, well, who cares? Because you're basically getting a bargain using the power of the ring and then taking away. I should get that firewall out of there. It's really hard to see. Fuck. another storm plate. This one had the same amount of +% armor. TFE was one more, so it is shit.
Do not have a spell ready.
But yeah, uniques that I think should be in the game. I think you'd need more rings with like more than +25% or +20 to all attributes, honestly. You already see a high amount of use from first off Belial's word, and that's from people who will actually tell you, let alone the people on Tungle who are like scared to death their favorite build is going to be nerfed. And then the other one that I've actually seen surface is what's that called? Ignis Demonica, that's it. So people, that's the one they're using. And both those have like just +20 attributes or +25 attributes. You have Leviathan's Cage, but that one got fucking obliterated, like terrible into the ground, like not usable. Like it was like -300 mana or something, which is just like insane. Like can hardly come back from that. So honestly, I think those items a lot of people like to use. I think there's more alpha helms in general. There's only like 2 unique ones. One's a set one, so it's super hard to find as is, and then you just find Spirit Coif forever. And it's like, well, it doesn't really lend itself to like being a high-end helm because, well, see ya. Because, you know, you have all this extra dexterity, magic, and vitality, I think it is, that you're trying to like balance and juggle on other builds. Or Mage is like, there's not really much of a point. Because like, well, there's no alpha mask to use. You just have to use like a blue one, which on a Mage is really hard to do because there's not too many good blue items that can incorporate spell levels on them. Like +2 to all spell levels just usually doesn't cut it for what people are looking for. Or the spell levels take up the DFE slot, so you can't really have, like, say, a Ruby spellcaster, Ruby Helm of Spellcasting, for that reason. Because it's like, well, do I want 2 spell levels, or do I want 35 DFE? And it's like, even if you're a glass cannon, like, that's pretty hard to, like, turn up. Well, the thing is with glass cannon is that you're already using unique, so that you can use like well above what you already can. I should be focusing a bit more on like where the actual bosses are. And there's not really any helms that focus on AC. Like AC seems to be the one thing that's like not acceptable on mages late game. Or just like on armor really. There's like no, fuck's sakes. There's no armor with like +% armor on an endgame plate. And then up there. I feel like I missed a Reality Weaver boss. Looks like we're good to go. Oh, there's a statue there. Okay. So yeah, something with armor. I'm not sure if people would use it, considering the amount of people who just like high damage builds, but I would try it. I mean, like, you've got to have some option, right? Like, there are no, like, sturdy helm isn't really a helm. Like, it gives you like 12 AC. So, like, having a helm with like some kind of AC bonus on it, that would be cool. Make sure my golem doesn't go anywhere. And, well, you know, a high DFE helm with just like something else on it. Say like high DFE and spell levels, because you can't find that. It just, the affixes don't allow it, so. That's what I would do.
I cannot cast that yet.
But there is actually like a billion ideas like for unique items, because every single unique like property that can't be provided by blue items, like say endurance on a helm and so DFE and spell levels, you'd have to make that. Then you'd also have to make like all prefixes that can work together, just so you can have like, you know, a balanced option. Then you've got to start getting into, oh fuck sakes. Fuck. And then you've also got to have just like the truly asinine things that just can provide you effects that nothing else can. So like lose all regeneration for like, you know, 8 spell levels, or like lose all resistances for 8 spell levels. Like, yeah, like nothing else can really provide that. So honestly, like, I know that there's kind of like a fear that the game will turn into this big like unique fest, but honestly I don't think that's the case. Oh shit. Oh my god, I landed on top of him again? Are you fucking serious? What are the fucking odds of that? I think you're doing progress just by not making... Oh shit, they're lightning. More of those fucking undead guys, jeez. But yeah, as long as uniques stay balanced, I think it's actually a good thing, because... Excuse me. More fucking skull guys. Because people who replay the game obviously can look for more items. And then people who do play the game from the start, they're like, wow, look at all these items, holy cow, like, there's just so many of them, and like, you know, maybe if they only play through like 3 times, everyone knows what a Spirit Forge is, like, 90% of people on multiplayer have probably seen that armor like 500 billion times. And like more uniques have been made, so it's not like quite that ridiculous, but uh, there are definitely patterns and people pick up on them. So if you can, the more ways you can break that pattern, it's like, yeah, that's great. And you know, obviously the unique has to provide something different, but there's so many end game possibilities. So it's like, I really don't think that's ever going to be an issue. And some people, honestly, like we've heard that before on the forums, where people say like, I want more uniques and I want them, and why do you want them? Well, all my favorite items are uniques right now. It's like, well, those ones are getting balanced and like nerfed. It's like, well, shit. Fuck. So then it's like, well, do you really like uniques or do you just like busted items? Because that's basically what you're saying. Wow, another Ruby of Neglect. Where were all these when I was looking for it? I mean, this one's got good AC and shit, fire resist too, but nonetheless. Ooh, that's the one that gives 4 spell levels and like negative mana cost, negative at all attributes, I think. This one maybe can be used on a scout, I'm not positive. I know damage goes up to 60, but maybe. I don't think I have that combination. Oh, it's got faster hit recovery too. So what does this item give? It gives 1.3 plus 0.5. It's like 1.8. And then faster hit recovery is like, I'd say like more than a half a stat. So maybe like 2.5, 2.6 stats. And then negative 8 to all attributes. It's about 2. Uh, honestly, it's pretty good. Like, if you need mana cost reduction, it's pretty good. I haven't found a use for it yet. It doesn't have plus magic on it, so it's really hard to make any builds work with the Joker's Beak. You need pretty much like perfect amulets and rings, or you need to start juggling like Mask of Palantir. Because I like enhanced perception too, so a lot of these pretty decent items I just never get to play around with and build ideas. I think that's all we needed. Do a new game.
Greetings.
And that's kind of the thing too with items is you're limited because the hell can't change blue items now. It's like there's no way to increase the amount or like the number, I don't think, without morphing everything. So you can't expand the game that way. The only real way is to
How may I serve you?
I think I have Ring of Bargaining. I won't write that down. I think I just put it in my stash. If I find it, I find it, whatever. But, as I was saying, yeah, you can't expand blue items anymore, which, I mean, it would be a treat, but you just can't do it. So, you know, the only other way you can do it is like to rebalance uniques or to just change gameplay features. But a lot of these things, it's like they've been refined to a point where it's like, most people like the enemy encounters. They're pretty good. The AI it transitions well between difficulties, I'd say. Saber. Large mace, okay. Oh, might be fucked here. RNG prevails. Oh yeah, I don't have the hotkey on. Okay, there's that boss. Might just be a good idea to dive bomb it, honestly. Okay, nothing there.
Greetings! I do not have a spell ready. The smell of death surrounds me.
Oh, fuck. Oh my god, is that a barrel corner? Oh, no, it's not. Fuck. Alright, well they seem to be attacking my golem, that's cool. Really thought that I would have killed one of them. Jeez. Where did he drop? I can't see. Chaos Shield. Alright. Let's identify that quickly. Okay, that's not needed. Oh, sick. And that boss is right there.
I cannot get there from here.
Alright. Okay. Don't think there's any other bosses here. Oh, there is. There we go.
I cannot cast that.
Collar. I forget if I saved on this level or not. Well, whatever. I just won't die, right? Yeah, right. Siege mask. Fucking golems in the way. Oh, that boss actually takes magic. I almost just never try on undead bosses. I thought it was really rare that they'd have any kind of resist. Ooh. Yeah, that's such a good shield that I'm just gonna wait. Just gonna leave it in my stash because you never know what stat he's gonna replace crafted with. He may never change that stat, but if he does, then I'll have a really dope item, hopefully. Oh, bow, wow. Yeah, it just takes so long to get all set up. It's like I might as well just dive on him. Okay, a battle mail. Take a quick peek down 3. I don't really think I'm gonna stay, but Fucking archers, god damn it.
I cannot cast that yet. I cannot cast that yet.
Ooh. This one. This one. I think it goes plus 17 to plus 19 magic. The mana I thought went up to like 80 or 70 or something. And the strength is negative 31 to 33. So I got middle of the line, it looks like. I think it's just like my other one. I just get average ones. I never get like the perfect ones. But well, that's definitely needed to use that low life, super high damage spell build. So it's always good to have more options. Maybe it's better than the one I have. I forget. Haven't pulled it out in a while. It's just so hard to make negative strength work on a mage unless you're like willing to not use like high-end armor. But even then, like I find it just so hard like to use the high-end armor or like even the armor that's not high-end. It's just not good enough. It's like Cape of Roses or shit. Not quite good enough. Almost decent.
I cannot get there from here. I cannot cast that yet.
That's a pretty good focus if I do say so myself.
I cannot cast that yet. I cannot cast that yet.
But coming up here, I kind of wanted to find the shield just before starting I don't know what you call it, a patch of Path of Exile. They're having a new season starting up pretty soon. I promised my friends I'd hop on there with them, and it should be a good time. They just had a recent expansion, and they're having another one just after it, so I think that's a good thing. I forget if I saved with this ring or not.
I cannot cast that. I cannot cast that yet.
And there's a lot of things about Path of Exile that I didn't like at the start. But then I started to like it more as I played it. So like you'd start out and basically like life, like I made a build with like no life, and it was just absolute garbage. So like I didn't really like the game when I first got it because like my character was just so bad. And then like it still has like the reflect problem, which I'm glad really isn't in Diablo 1, where you like pretty much instantly kill yourself if you do too much damage. Either something like in Diablo 2 that has like Iron Maiden or spell reflect, and you just fucking you wipe yourself so fast. And it seems like whenever it's in a game, there's just not really a happy medium. It's like, well, you should be mindful of like what mods the enemies have, but it's like, well, not really. Sometimes it's off screen and like, you have a chain of a skill and it just bounces off. So really glad that this game does not have that. Oh, this is the last boss. Ah.
Cannot cast that.
Siege hammer. Alright. Nothing good on this level. Alright, lots of blacksmith oaths to use at least. Let's go ahead and get the armor souped up pretty good here. Fuck. Well, actually, the video is about 2 hours long, so I better cut it off here and start up a new one. Catch you guys next time.